How did you sort of end up working together in the lead up to London 2012?
A little bit unusual. I hopped off the international travel scene, sailing, going to regattas every week, coaching at the end of the Beijing Games. I decided that I wanted to settle a little bit more in my home of Perth and coach the kids out of Fremantle Sailing Club. So I was happily doing that, but the world came to Perth in 2010 for the test event for the World Championships, and from that Paul saw me there, and Chris Gowers, his coach, asked whether I'd be interested in doing a little bit of work with Paul in some stronger winds, and I thought, yeah, it'd be a bit of fun actually, and that's what it was. It was interesting for me.
So have you been working predominantly over here in the UK, or have you been working sort of all over the place?
Actually, not as much here in the UK. It's been in Europe at Regattas Palma, and we went to Miami actually in the US as well. And I was actually just helping along the way. And with Chris Gowers becoming the head coach of the British sailing team, a position opened up with the laser coaching. So here I am.
So what's it like training and coaching someone like Paul Goodison? Can you talk us through sort of a typical training day?
Look, first of all, we have to understand the personality, and he's incredibly dedicated, but he loves being a lad as well. So understand that he loves Sheffield United and the Blades, and going to watch the heartbreak of them losing the playoff for the championship next year. But actually just understanding his qualities and what he needs most. So it's just prioritising, and that changes on a week-to-week basis. We've been working on some high winds, but just some more technical things within that. So understanding the personality, and then how we're best going to achieve what we need to.
So do you become sort of quite a close team? You said you've been working with him for 5 months now, leading up to the games. Are you sort of a tight-knit unit?
Yeah.
Now? Yeah.
Yeah, and it's important for the opposition and people to know if they take him on, they take me on as well. And I'm in the boat with him, and I will defend him and help to make him as successful as possible along the way.
So what will be your role when we actually get into the Olympic regatta? Can you sort of talk us through how that team dynamic will work?
Well, the Olympics is about psychology as much as anything, and being very prepared. There's nothing worse as a coach not being prepared. So we're getting a good handle on the conditions, getting a good handle on his personality, and understanding the package as such. So at the games, it's about being prepared, understanding the wind conditions and what's required on each individual day, and it goes over a bit over a week. So it's a little bit of a marathon.
So as a coach, obviously you're telling him one thing, he's thinking another. Does he always listen to your advice?
Look, I create open communication, and I don't mind if someone disagrees. Paul always listens. There's never been a time he hasn't, and he may have a different point of view, and then we just work it out from there. Mm-hmm. And that's what it's about. Like, the coach-athlete relationship is very much about that communication, understanding what each other's thinking and not being afraid to express yourself.
Mm-hmm. What sort of pressures are on you as a coach?
As a coach?
Mm.
Well, I don't think any. I try to perform to my best all the time. Mm-hmm. I'm not afraid to take on challenges, and working for the British for sure isn't popular back home. But frankly, things that are important to me are my close friends, my wife, and our 2 families. So it's I don't feel any pressure. I wouldn't not do something because it's difficult.
Yeah. So it's a challenge to you as well. You're getting a lot out of it as well.
Oh yeah, I love it. Yeah. Like, I love it. And he's got personality. I love an athlete with personality, and it's I'm in a good place.
Fantastic. Do you find that you become a bit of a confidant for him as well? You know, you're his right-hand man, effectively.
Oh, no doubt. You share things that you don't share with too many others, and it's very important that you've got that relationship. He needs to be able to talk to me about anything, and I hope I can do the same to him.
Obviously, Paul is a very competitive player out on the water, focused. Is he, you know, do you see a change in his character from on the water and off the water?
No doubt. Yeah. The racing's serious. We're there to do the best we possibly can. We're a united team and we want Paul to have the very best success he possibly can. But on land, you need a balance in life. You need to be able to go to the football. You need to be able to play table tennis against your coach. And
who wins that?
well, at the moment, I'm going okay.
Good.
Yeah, but I've got a feeling he's about to hit his form, hit his straps.
Wonderful. So can you tell us a little bit more about the laser itself, what kind of boat it is, what conditions it goes best in, and what it's like to sail?
It's just demanding. It is a really hard boat to sail. I don't think you'd want to sail one in 25 knots as the average club sailor, because you need to be incredibly fit. You need to be very sharp with your tactical thinking. It's a great challenge. It's a great challenge for all sailors. They're the most popular sailing class the world has seen. So it offers something to many people for many different things. But as an Olympic boat, it is awesome. It's very much one design, supplied by one manufacturer at the Games. They should be pretty close to identical boats. The other class you can tweak with different masts, different sails. The laser you can't. It actually comes as supplied.
Is it quite a physical boat, or is it more a sort of technical, mental game in the laser fleet?
It's a combination of both. The light air, it's a game of chess. Strong air, you've got the chess, and there's straight down athleticism where the sails are hiking so hard you think they're going to break the thing in half. It's pretty awesome. It's incredible to see one of the top athletes in action in one.
Yeah. So when you're out there watching him, are you sort of focused on just what he's doing so you can feedback, or are you there as his extra eyes to look at the whole fleet and go, oh, you know, so-and-so's doing this, and watch them, and how does that work?
Yeah, there's definitely a spying game as well, without being too obvious, but there are things we need to achieve each day, and that may include looking at the opposition as well, understanding what they do, their makeup.
What sort of challenges do you think Paul faces coming into the Games this time round?
Really no different to last time, except the expectation from the public. They know about him. He's a local boy. No different. It's still the same regatta. Still got to make the same decisions. He's got the experience before, so it's a little bit more known. That should be a little more comfortable for him. Doesn't mean it's easier, but at least he knows what to expect.
Obviously, we just touched on the fact here that people know him. Do you think it's a sort of a help or a hindrance that the Games are here in the UK this year?
It can't hurt. It can't hurt. It's a venue he knows. It's a great place to sail. He can go home if he wants. There's no downside. It's all positive for us.
Fantastic. There's been quite a lot of talk about the medal race and the location of the course off the nose. Do you have any thoughts or opinions on that? You know, is it a benefit that people can actually get to see the racing, or is it going to be a tricky course?
Oh, it's tricky. It's a great interest, and the public deserve to watch. It's a great event, and if we can have that North Hill packed with people, that's what we need. We love it, and they'll get a great spectacle. There's many different classes, and the sailors, they need to adapt, and that's what makes a champion.
Will they be able to hear them from the water, from the nose, if they're cheering?
I expect so. It depends which way the wind's blowing. Yeah. But the World Championships in Perth were spectacular. The breakwater there was packed with people. And to see the medal race day, the lays, the 70s, the 49ers racing, the people just standing and cheering, is something not many sailors have experienced before. And the public got bang for buck. It was close. They were right in there doing the things they do best. Yeah.
So how did you get into coaching? Have you always been a coach, or have you sailed sort of professionally yourself?
I sailed as a kid, so I grew up in Melbourne in Australia. My father bought me a little mudlark boat, which you don't have over here, but put me out at the age of 7 into the waves, and I sailed all day. Like, I used to get down there in the morning at 9, and I'd have to be dragged in at 5 o'clock at night. No lunch, no nothing, dehydrated, sunburnt left, big crack. But I survived somehow. So I had the love for the sport, and our house was actually, the beach was the front yard in Melbourne, so I had the opportunity to sail out of Frankston Yacht Club as a kid, and then developed, went into windsurfing and got back into sailing at a later age and stopped competing at the end of 2002. So, and then Yachting Australia asked if I'd be interested in being a coach. And at first I wasn't sure, because I hadn't considered it before. Because I looked at my poor coach Lex and all the things I put him through. And I thought, whoa, I wouldn't want to do that. But alas, it's a great occupation. I love it. I love being involved, because if I wasn't coaching, I'd be doing some other job, and for sure not as satisfying.
Do you kind of see yourself maybe in 3-4 years' time preparing somebody else for the 2016 Rio Games, maybe even Paul Goodison again?
I hope so. Like at the moment, I'm really enjoying what I'm doing. It's been a dream to be here in London, so in Weymouth, and to be at these games. A year ago, I didn't think that was going to happen. The opportunity has come, and I'm very grateful to have received it.
What keeps you motivated? Obviously, you know, you're working with highly motivated people, you know, super focused. Do you thrive on that as well, or how do you keep yourself motivated?
Look, there's so many things to do. I try and be fit myself, but I'm never bored. Like I never go through life going, oh, I'm not going to know what I'm going to do. There's so many things to do, and we're always short of time as a coach. We've never got enough time to prepare, so there's no problems with motivation at all.
Do you find as a coach that when you're walking around the local boat park, you're offering a few tips here and there? You're always constantly coaching people, offering advice?
Oh, it can happen, but right now I'm focused on Paul and what's required for him, and I try not to get involved with other sailors. It's really important that I don't pass opinion on them.
Yeah. In your mind as a coach, what are the attributes that you have to be an Olympic level sailor?
You've got to love what you're doing. You absolutely have to have the passion to get out there at all hours of the day, whether it's raining. We've had sessions where it's been 6 degrees. It hasn't been snowing, but it's felt like it's about to. But you've got to be prepared to do anything that has to happen. And if you've got that attitude, you've got a good chance of being success.
Do you have to have a sort of, would you say there's a certain physique that would suit the laser more than a different physique, or is it really anyone's game?
Look, people always say this is the perfect athlete, no matter what sport it's in, but history shows others have a way of proving that wrong. And you see different body shapes being successful in all different sports, and the laser's no different.
Fantastic. What would you say has been your proudest moment as a coach so far in your coaching career?
Wow, that's a hard one. Asking me to separate all sorts of things.
Yeah, you know, is there a stand-up moment in your career you just think, awesome?
Where it brings tears to your eyes?
Yeah.
No doubt being associated with the top level success, and so I've been associated with some World Championship wins, but it's really about when an athlete does something quite special. It doesn't have to be winning a World Championship or anything like that. It doesn't even have to be someone I'm coaching. My football team, the Sydney Swans, winning the grand final in 2005 was a special moment. That brought tears to my eyes. I was running around the foyer in a hotel in Brazil going, woo! No one knew what the hell was going on.
No. Yeah. But you were happy.
Yeah. So my proudest moment? The Sydney Swans winning the 2005 grand final.
As we said, the laser is an extremely popular boat in the UK and worldwide. Is there any advice that you could give our club sailors on making the most out of their laser sailing? Some top tips?
Get as fit as you possibly can and hike like a maniac. Hike so hard so you're going to pull that strap out of the boat. And of course get set up properly in the boat so the hiking strap's the right length and all that. If you get fit, that will deliver you your best results.
Fantastic, thank you.
My pleasure.